Right, I think we are live. I think we're live. If you can see me, drop your comments down below. Drop your questions down below. Obviously, I'm just going to join you guys. I'm just going to double check that we are actually live. So if you can hear me, see me, drop your comments down below. I'm just going to, oh, let's just change this slightly. Will that go through? Yeah, that will go through. Fantastic. So if you can see me, hear me, do drop your comments down below. Let's close that down. And I'm just going to check. Oh, I can see myself. Yeah, there we are. So I'm just going to give you an update on my Amazon business where obviously today it's like it's nearly Christmas. Oh my God, it's nearly Christmas. And obviously, I guess let me just check on YouTube if we're live. And obviously, if you've got any questions about Amazon, let me do it down here. Drop, I'll put it this way, so we just do it here. Like, interesting, I can do that. Drop your questions down below. Obviously, that's good, so I can do that as well. And post it out to the YouTube. So if you guys are there, do drop your questions down below. Obviously, I can hear, I can see you, I am here. So let me just check. Oh, I can see myself. I'm actually live on the YouTube right here. Fantastic. Let's see how that's going through. So that's cool. So guys, if you've got any questions or anything, do drop them down below. I can see you, and obviously I can see what's going on. Just going to kind of have a quick look at this. I don't know if it doesn't look like my YouTube quality is very good. It doesn't look as good as I thought it might do. Interesting. I will have to certainly look at how that comes out on. So guys, if you've got a question down below, I'll give an update on my business where I am right now. Is it streaming right? Yeah, my YouTube quality doesn't seem to be as good as I thought it would be. But yeah, let me know if you've got questions. So I'll give you a quick update on my business and I'll share you right now. Let me just kind of go through. I'll get on my Amazon business. My team have pretty much spent all the money. We've run out of cash for the day. It's like, oh my God, we've got no more money left. What's going on? It's like horrendous. So, but sales are good. I'm pretty happy with sales. I don't know if I can get that close enough for you guys. 316 there. That's going to be like the most important point. So anyway, you can see this little bit, all the other side, this bit side is really like going well. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think my business is actually, we're good. The one thing I'll say is we are down 31% versus last year, but the profitability is about the same. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we're doing less revenue for the same amount of profitability. So really happy with that. We've got a couple of people joining on Instagram. So like Vivian Stacks has joined, Odd Beginning, and Fark Larkinger, I think it is, has joined as well. So if you guys are here, do drop me a comment down below. I've got my iPad. I'm just gonna make sure I'm not connected. Turn off. Yeah, I'm back. Cool. Sorry, I had to turn my iPad off, and I was like, "What's going on?" So that's fine. So obviously, got things so I can see you guys. If you're on Instagram, I'm watching you. You're down here. I can see you. So do drop your questions. Rakon444 and Mohammed. Rafik has joined. Fantastic. So if you guys are on Instagram, I can see you. You're there. So do that thing. So a couple of questions coming in already. So let's kind of do it. So we've got one coming in from Facebook. To answer this question, hi, I got the email from Amazon regarding stop sending invoices on my behalf as I need to register for VAT. Said Amazon are going to stop sending invoices for you for VAT. And you said, I'm a bit worried in regards to this. I have to manually check business orders and send windows out, or I'm thinking of this wrong way around. So I'm not 100% because I'm not VAT registered, should we say. Long story short is if I'm correct in thinking, obviously, if a business customer asks for an invoice, you have to provide it. But I think like I don't know whether you need to upload them before. I don't think you do. Like I think it's only when they request it you have to provide it. I think that's right, but don't quote me. Someone might know this in regards to like what you do when it's like a if you're not VAT registered. But I know if you're not VAT registered and someone asks for an invoice, you just say, hey, I can get like here's an invoice, but I'm not VAT registered. 9 times out of 10, you just say, we're not VAT registered. Would you still like an invoice? And they'll be like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They're looking really for that VAT registration invoice so that they can reclaim the VAT. That's what they're looking for. So I hope that kind of makes sense. But don't be worried. Like really, don't worry. Amazon going to stop doing it for you. I think you've also put down here plus rolling 12 months revenue is 91K. Yeah, you should be registering for VAT. Yeah, so if I'm not going to make up to that and the next, it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, you've already passed it. So I think HMRC says the moment so let me just kind of move this around slightly. HMRC says the moment you move, the moment you hit the VAT registration threshold, you need to register. Like regardless of like, oh, I'm going to go back down. Like no, the moment you cross it, now you have to be VAT registered, and you can only deregister if you have to wait 12 months before you're allowed to deregister. It's not the nicest things in the world, unfortunately. VAT is a bit of a pain, but just like kind of be a bit mindful. These things do happen. But in regards to your VAT invoices, I think you're fine. Like it's only if the VAT you don't have to check them all. It's just that the customer will come up and like when they ask for an invoice, you have to provide it. 9 times out of 10, you just literally reply back and say, "Hey, I'm not VAT registered. Would you like an invoice?" And they'll say, "No, it's fine." So that's unless I think they click a button and you have to upload a document, if that makes sense. So if they ask, you're fine. But if they request a button, you do it. Unfortunately, I'm not VAT registered. I am VAT registered, so we get it done automatically. But the fact that you're about to go VAT registered anyway, you're over 9 months, sorry, it's going to be a pain, you have to do it. Fazilla 10 Instagram, just want to put a big hi, Tupaki, hi. Guys, if you've got questions on Instagram, I can see you. We are here. So you said big thank you. No problem. Glad I can help you. Honestly, glad I can help you. Billy Evans is coming. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I'm here. I'm going to join you. I won't be here tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to have to drive. I'm driving to an area in Mexico, and I'm not going to have time to answer YouTube lives. I'm going to be missing a day. No. So it's going to jump through Billy and then Fazilla on Instagram. I will answer your question. I can see it. It's right there. It's right there. I will answer. I promise you. Let's going to go over to Billy's question. Then I'll do Fazilla on Instagram. So Billy, hi Tom. When bundling bigger things like cereal boxes, how do we pack the products if they're too big to fit in a poly bag? Just like, is it okay to bubble wrap them, stick labels as a bubble wrap? Yeah, so long as like. And also, I'd like, yeah, you should be fine. If you're worried that just be mindful that Amazon might undo things. So just do like bundle, do not separate. So that's the only thing that you might like just be mindful of. But yeah, bubble wrap, or should we say bubble wrap, absolutely fine. So long as it's like stuck and you're going to be fine. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just literally like if you can't fit it in a poly bag, you might be able to find bigger poly bags. I would probably Google it if you're doing a lot of volume. Because by the way, manually wrapping bubble wrap is going to take you a lot of time and probably cost you quite a lot, where a bigger poly bag might be more cost effective. So do think about that. I think that's going to be a real consideration. So let's go through. So Billy, let me know if that answers your question. We've got a nice person on Instagram. So Cynthia Farmer. I'm not looking. Okay, let's kind of go through. Fazilla, let's go through that. How much do you think I need for a VA? So first couple of questions, before you think about like how much do you need for a VA, number one is like just kind of think about a couple of requirements before you need a VA. And obviously we've done a lot of hiring. I have a lot of VAs myself. So number one, you're going to be really looking at you're profitable, you know what you're doing yourself. Number two, your business is you probably have about £5,000 or $5,000 free, £4,000, $5,000 that you're not able to spend every week. And the reason why I tell you this is the fact that you are, should we say, the VA is going to take money, you're going to have to invest in the deals your VA finds, and then you're going to return that money back, in like 12 weeks time, because that's how long the cycle of money works, which is absolutely fine. So number one, you're profitable. Number two, £4,000, $5,000, and really it's money that you can't spend. It's always available. Like every week you finish the week and go, man, there's still like $4,000 to $5,000 left in my account. What's going on? And generally that could be $4,000 to $5,000 left on the credit card. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical cash. It's just got to be available spend. And then the other things that you're really looking at, and by the way, that means like you can't spend it. So it's like surplus cash. So your business could continue growing if you could invest that stock. And then the final one, which I'd really recommend, is you've got about an hour free a day, I think it is, that you're really understanding like, okay, I've got an hour free a day. I can spend time with my VA and build that business. So really profitability, cash in the bank, you know what you're doing. So number four, but I hope you know that. And then number five is the fact that you've got 1 hour free a day, because it's going to take time to develop. And obviously you've got a long-term commitment to build a team. That's an important thing. So I'd really say that. So Fazilla, I hope that makes sense. And then Cynthia's joined in, and Cynthia's not very nice. If you aren't doing 10K profit per month, don't even worry about a VA noob. I don't think that's particularly the nicest thing in the world. So first things first, well done for being very supportive to your fellow Amazon sellers. And how would you look for a prep center for a noob, sir? My God, I don't really understand. Okay, so Cynthia, at the end of the day, Fazila's not asking you the question, and I appreciate that if you want to connect individually, you're more than welcome to. But I don't know whether you mean noob in, should we say, negatively or like as a joke. But personally, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd just be very careful. By the way, one thing I will say about, regardless of like Instagram, especially like dealing with VAs, you've got to be, your communication is so key. Like I cannot stress this enough. Um, I like when you're talking online, like I do it with my team, when I'm talking online, when I'm talking to people, it's like I have to be really mindful of like things can be misunderstood. So I'm like, hey, like, and by the way, when things are misunderstood, I try and do smiley face, like smiley face. I try and do emojis because they express, they give action. So like I make a real big point within my company, if you want to know, we make a really big point that once my, when my team do something, like I'll like screenshot it, put it into the internal chat, and be like, "Well done! I'm super impressed. Well done! Hashtag best day ever. Hashtag excited." And then I'll put like 20 emojis underneath, and I want other people to click the emojis. Why? Because I want the emotional reaction. And by the way, it's because you motivate people. I think for us, by the way, if you're thinking about getting a VA, you are now going to become a leader. You're going to become a leader in your business. You're going to be leading people, and whether you get, should we say 20% efficiency from your staff or you get 80% efficiency, it's really about how you lead them. That's it. Like it really is. And if you learn to become a highly effective leader with encouragement, recognition, you're going to go so far. Honestly, you'll really help a difference. So I hope that makes sense. Let's kind of go through. How would you look for a prep center for a noob, sir? I'm guessing you mean someone beginning, 20 to 80 units. Let me know UK or USA. And Fazila says thanks. Let's go and jump back to the main questions, and I'll jump back over to Instagram. I can see them. I can see them here, guys. So I will come back to them a bit. Let's go and jump to the things. Someone says here on Facebook, I do believe Amazon provide the invoices for you. It's just a setting you need to activate. Check. Amazon do definitely provide the invoices for you when you're VAT registered, 100%. But I'm not sure about not VAT registered. When you're not VAT registered yet, I'm not sure if Amazon does the invoices for you. Let me know. Let's kind of go through the wild adventures. Hi, Tom. Do you have any tips for managing invoices zero in the process of trying to streamline this process so easy to get lost in the abundance of orders? Yeah, so 1 second. Man needs Lucasade. Some people like to use something called like Receipt Bank, or it's another bit of software which meets before zero. I don't like it at all. I don't think it helps. I think it actually slows you down because you're trying to deal with like 2 bits of software rather than 1. So what do I think? Like for us, the way we do it is we just connect zero straight up to the bank account. We pull in the reports. And then, or the bank feed, and then the idea is the fact that what happens is you get you can add the receipts to zero itself. Now, the one thing we do on top of that, and we talk about it within the Seller Academy, we have it within our admin course, which is part of the Seller Academy. We literally have a whole SOP. At a very fundamental level, we probably just have a sheet because we have multiple VAs. It's a Google sheet whereby it's your bank statement on a CSV format, and it's literally like status of the invoice, chasing, requested, waiting, chase up on this day, received. That's it. That's all you're probably looking to do is just like your bank statement and know you've done it, because all you're looking for is receipts for expenditures, which are correlate towards the thing. So Wild Dad Adventures, let me know. I think a sheet like that. By the way, we have a whole SOP within the admin course that we offer. And the idea is that we just document exactly how we do that invoice fetching, along with like P&Ls, bank balances, cash flow, all our inventory management process as well. So I hope that makes sense. And you said, ha, 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 ha. Let's quickly jump over to Carlos, and then we'll jump back over to Instagram, so don't worry. So, hey, Tom, have you heard of the potential issue regarding resellers regarding California Prep 65? Yeah, I've heard of it, and my understanding of the situation is around chemicals or like ingredients within products which could, if you had them in sufficient quantities, could cause problems. Like I've heard a lot of people just kind of like worried about it, and I'm struggling. Like personally, I'm struggling to understand. Like I understand that people could be taken to court over it. There is an issue, but personally, I'm struggling to understand because I think like you're going to see like it will take time for enforcement to take into place because they'll want people to adapt. And then the other one is the fact that the manufacturers will kind of update their labeling. So if you're reselling existing products, I think you're going to be fine because eventually it will happen. Or like potentially even Amazon could be taken to court on this. So like I don't think it's going to be like enforced as quickly as we like possibly might think. It might be like there's like kind of like time for it to take because you need to update all the labeling. But I think the worst case scenario, just be mindful of like kind of some of the products. Like if you're doing toys, you're not really affected. Whereas if you're doing like like vitamins, could be a problem. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, good question, Carlos. Let's jump back over to Instagram quickly. So my God, there's a lot of questions. Guys on Instagram going absolutely on fire. So Cynthia Farmer said, joke to meant noob questions. People not taking the time, just take action. Don't be so nice, even though we love the English. Cool. Okay, fine. Not too sure what that means, but thanks. I think it's good. Fine. Okay, so Rakon says, who literally goes to buy those products and brings them to a prep center? Not too sure. Some people do. By the way, like I don't know if you know it. I think it's like some guys in the US who I know, they teach a method whereby you hire people in the US, like literally to go out doing RA, and they drop them off at prep centers. Really interesting. It's basically like kind of online arbitrage, but RA version, but not really online, and other people make the buying decisions for you. It's not perfect. It kind of works. It can be really profitable if you get a great team, but it's not always the good one. So, some people do it. And by the way, it does work. Some people do it. Sean, who is, what's his name? Massive Action. He does it on here. He talks about like, he will do orders and he'll get people to go out and buy from him and they'll prep it from their own houses. So, definitely can do it. So, Cynthia Farmer said USA. If you're looking for a prep center in USA, check out, oh my God, I've got their name. What's the name? The name is American Warehouse in New Hampshire. Check them out. I like them. I like it because also as well the fact that they are, what do you call it? They are tax-free. That's the most important point. So yeah, you are a leader, sir. The crabs will fight in the bucket, of course. Okay, fine. Not really sure what's going on with the crabs, but hey, cool, Cynthia Farmer. I'm glad I can help you with the prep center. Let's go to Bert Canu has joined. Hey, Bert Canu, and Mr. Luke Dugan, 1988. Guess when he was born? I can probably guess. I guess you can guess as well. But Mr. Luke Dugan, great to see you. Let me know how you're getting on. Obviously, I've not heard from you in a long time. How is life in Lithuania? If everyone wants to know, I spent a month actually with Luke Dugan. Really good. He's very good at the replenishable side. So I'd love to know how you're getting on. Luke, let me know. So obviously, I've not seen too much of you for a while, so let me know how you're getting on. Drop me a comment down below, Luke. I can see you in the old Instagram. Let's kind of jump through. Someone says here, I'm not VAT registered. So this is in regards to invoices for people who are not VAT registered, and apparently they do it. So there was a question earlier on saying, if you are not VAT registered, do you still have to create invoices? And someone's telling me here, I'm not sure who it is, but it's on Facebook. They're saying, if you are VAT registered, get it right, Tom? If you are not VAT, oh my God, Tom can't talk. They say, if you are not VAT registered and a customer requests an invoice, Amazon have a functionality where you can just tick it, and then Amazon will provide the invoice for them. I think that's what we're trying to say. So if you're not VAT registered, Amazon has a button. So thank you very much for letting me know that. That's really, really good. Let's kind of go through. Wild Dad Adventures said, thank you so much for your reply. Cool, no problem, Wild Dad Adventures. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I can see you on YouTube and Facebook down here, Instagram this side, and my sales graphs this side. And if you want to know, there are my kitchen cupboards. Next week, I'll be back here, but the week after, I'm going to be in the Philippines. So it's going to be really hard to try and do lives. I'm going to try what I'm going to do the best I can, but I will be flying for like 24 hours to get to the Philippines. It's going to be hard work. Let's jump through. Mr. CJH. Evening. Hope you had a good day. I'm drinking some electrolyte. And my girlfriend is going to buy me some more mulled wine, which I'm absolutely loving. And by the way, I know everyone's struggling with weather. In my apartment right now, because it's quite hot, it's 28 degrees C. So I wouldn't mind some shorts, so it's quite nice. But yeah, hope you're having a good day, Mr. CJH. Let me know. And Cynthia Farmer on Instagram has said thank you. Hey, Cynthia, thank you so much. Guys, if you're on Instagram, I can see it. It's right here. Let's kind of jump through. Carlos. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Tom. My girlfriend's returned. She's amazing. I await the gifts. Let's go. Hi, Carlos. Thanks, Tom. She's saying, no, we don't have any.
We cannot.
Oh, they won't let us take it out. They don't let us take it out. It's really bad. Don't like them. Never go back to Mason Caser again. Mason Caser, if you're watching. No. Let's go. Carlos. Thanks, Tom. Have sales slowed down now that they're approaching Christmas Day? No, they shouldn't be. Not yet. Because the question you really want to ask is, will people still be able to get the delivery if they order today before Christmas? And obviously people are going to lie. So I think if you're going to ask me, Today is the last day, probably actually in the US. UK, I think, will probably be tomorrow because you can get it on Saturday the 24th, and then you're pretty much done. So the net result is that, just kind of like let's have a quick look at my sales. It's a good question. Let's ask. I'd probably say no. Like, look, I don't know if you can go. Let's just do 7-day sales. It'd be a bit easier to see. Look at that. That's my 7-day sales, and you can see there. They're not like, I would expect them to be a lot lower if sales have slowed down. So I'd say the answer would be no. Tomorrow I'd expect it to. Tomorrow maybe. Day after, yes, definitely. But today, no. USA I don't have on my phone, but I suspect so as well. So Carlos, sorry, no. Honor at Sol on Instagram. I can see it. Just want to say a big hi. Wave. Let's kind of jump through. Billy Evans, hi. Any personal site recommendations for cheap body bags? I don't know because I don't do any prep at all. I'm probably the laziest Amazon seller in the world. But does anyone else know any recommendations for poly bags? Whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Billy Evans would like to know. Let me know about poly bags, cheap poly bags. Can anyone recommend? On see if we can help out Billy here. That'd be greatly appreciated. So let's kind of jump through. My first 9 p.m. live. Woohoo! Big round of applause. Okay, so well done for joining the live. The next thing you need to do is ask a question. Engage, ask questions. I don't know the answers. I'm not an expert, but I'll give you my opinion. That's all I can promise you. I can give you my thoughts. So yeah, so I hope you can do it. So let me know what questions you've got. So let's kind of jump through. Surf F, hi. Would you suggest focusing on one category for a bit or a little bit of every category? Great question. I'm going to think about my answer here. Give me a second. Man, unfortunately, there's going to be no mulled wine today. They're not going to let us have it. I have to drink electrolyte instead. This isn't sponsored by electrolyte. So I think when you start out, I would probably just start kind of like, you've got to kind of go on different categories because you're gated in a lot of them. But I do think there's a lot of advantage to focusing on one category. And if I do look at all like the biggest sellers I know, and I'm not talking about myself now, but I'm talking about other people who I've met, I generally like what I always kind of believe in is like, if you just copy what other people do, you'll generally get a very similar result. It won't be as perfect, but you won't be too far off. For example, if a really good example would be like, I don't really know any 7 or 8 figure Amazon sellers using lead services. They all use VAs. So it's not to say that lead services are bad, but it's to say that if you want to build a 7 or 8 figure Amazon service or business, you probably wouldn't do it with lead services, you would do it with VAs. So just by thinking about that, that's going to help you get there. So when we talk about big sellers, what do I notice? I probably notice that they specialize a lot more. For example, I know one guy doing 8 figures on arbitrage just in one category. I know, even within our own business, we specialize in teams, and we've had good success with that. It's been a challenge sometimes, but I think specialize. And I think also as you start to understand those categories and understand what's working. So yeah, I think my advice would be to specialize, but I would also probably try and do something that you are interested in at a personal level. Like if you're a girl and you quite enjoy makeup, then beauty could be a great one because you understand the niche. And I'm not saying you definitely have to do that, but it can be an advantage. So just be mindful of that one. So I think definitely specialize. Let's kind of jump quickly. If guys you got questions, drop them down below. I will do it. Let's jump over to the Instagram, which is over here. And by the way, I look that way. Even though Instagram on my screen is that way, I should really change them around. So Cynthia has said, my sales jumped off a cliff. Excellence delivery is far gone. I think they will pick up soon. Everyone's in snowstorm. Yeah, I know the US right now is amazing. Ooh. My girlfriend's family live in Denver, and it's like -30 or something. It's like, oh my God, that's degrees C, not even Fahrenheit. I don't know if they're the same at that level. So yeah, it does. Cynthia Farmer, when did you start going remote? Like how many months into your journey? I think for a year. I broke up with my girlfriend for 6 years and then I moved to Thailand. It went downhill, massively downhill, like massively downhill. But I learned a lot, and yeah, so then I did that, and that's about 5 years ago. So yeah, pretty good. Camper, traveling, yeah, I understand. So yeah, that was it. So yeah, about a year in my journey. It went downhill because I just got drunk. Camper14 has joined. Hey, Camper14. And Sada Camille has joined as well. Hey, guys on Instagram. I can see you. Drop your questions down below. Drop your questions down below. Let's jump it over. GMac. Hey, GMac. What are you doing? Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I am doing them. This is like YouTube here. GMac has done. Can you use SellerAmp for sourcing wholesale products in the UK, or is it only really for OARA? You can definitely use it for wholesale. So just be mindful of like what does SellerAmp really do? Like it has lots of functionalities, but the core function of SellerAmp is called deal analysis. Yes, it has the ability to do things like reverse sourcing, to storefront stalking to support you that, but it's really deal analysis. That's what you're really looking at. Now, at a fundamental level, is whether you're doing deal analysis for OA or wholesale is exactly the same. And something like SellerAmp is really going to help you with that. Now, that's on an individual product by product basis. What do you like? If you're going to use something like Scan Unlimited, what does that allow you to do? Well, quite simply, that will allow you to put in a big list of products on an Excel, and then also you can check them. So the question, so like when you're doing wholesale, generally you want to do bulk scanning, which Scan Unlimited is going to help you do, and you can do like 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 in one go. Whereas doing that with something like SAS isn't really going to help. So, but you'd probably want to use something like SAS after Scan Unlimited's done its job to double check and make sure everything's fine. Why? Because you're going to be looking at the keeper chart, for example, and all that stuff. So you'd use SAS as like a final check, but you'd kind of like, you have 100,000 products from your wholesaler, you'd run it through Scan Unlimited, get it down to 1,000, and then you'd run those thousands through SAS, which would get down to like 100 that you're actually going to buy. So that's the kind of process you go through. Whereas in OA, that'd be wholesale, by the way. Where in OA you would use you wouldn't use Scan Unlimited. You'd use like SellerAmp for the whole thing. So it absolutely works fine. So GMac, let me know down below if that makes sense. FBA poly bags on Amazon. Ha ha ha! Absolutely love it. Let's kind of go through SM. Hi, what products would you suggest for Q1? Any tips? I think like two things I'd really recommend for you in Q1, like tips wise, are number one, if you're going to kind of think about categories, you can think about like health and personal care. What do you call it? I've forgotten the name of it. People working out, sports and outdoor. That's the other one. People like kind of lose weight. Multivitamin is a good one. But the other thing which I'd probably say, like, just on a side note to that, is that like toys still sell, not as well, but they still sell. Health and beauty still sells. And you can use this as an opportunity not to maybe go after Q1 related products, but go to products which are always going to work for you. And I think that's a really important point. So I think my case for you is like, number one, try and look to like not, should we say, be no niche suspicion or time of year specific, but instead kind of make it more general. And then the only other thing I'd say is, it's a classic one, I've said it for years, is whenever you go sourcing on Amazon, if you're going to look at the keeper chart, what happens is when you click on the keeper chart, it'll do the last 3 months. So if you're in January right now, you're going to look at December, November, and a bit of October, which is a really bad idea because Q4 is not Q1, because October, November, December is not going to be the same as January, February, and March. So what you need to do is make sure you always open it up to the 1 year and look back at January, February, March last year, not just the last 3 months. The last 3 months are not going to be a good predictor going forward. SM, let me know down below if that helps you out. And guys, if you've got any more questions on Instagram, YouTube, let me know down below. Elizabeth has joined on Instagram over there. I'm just going to answer Cynthia's question. So Cynthia Farmer said, that sounds like an upgrade. Yeah, it's cool. Like Thailand was cool. I really enjoyed it. But also as well, I think the idea was that it's nice to see. Like 2 years ago, I just looked at today. 2 years ago, I travelled first class for the first time, which was really, really nice. Didn't pay for it. I'm not paying 10,000 for a first class. My God, it was really, really nice. Cynthia Farmer said, "Could you have gone sooner if you had a decent prep? I have decent experience already. 15k per month FBM in my first month. But I've been selling for years, but I just got back on the beast after being deactivated." Yeah, I think. Look, if you're going to be selling on like. I think your problem is FBM if you're doing it yourself. If you're doing FBM through a prep center, absolutely fine. The problem behind traveling is the fact that you can't, you're not there. You have that problem, and the net result is that you need to, Your business needs to be able to operate without you, and also it needs to be able to it needs to be able to operate without you. And sometimes you're only going to be able to make decisions once a week or move money once a week. So number one, like at a very fundamental level, and I still believe this today, and it's what I kind of teach in the Seller Academy, is like, why do we do Amazon? Because we use Amazon's marketing, we use their thing, we use their third-party service to sell on. We are leveraging their network. And if we didn't care, if we were like, no, I'm going to do it myself, you go create a Shopify store and create your own, kind of like marketing. But you don't. You use Amazon's. Why? Because it works. And a lot of people obviously use Amazon FBA, so they use Amazon fulfillment. So then an additional section on that is like, why not use a prep center to do a lot more of the logistics? Yes, you're taking more of the cost out, like profitability, but what you are probably doing is making it like simpler to sell. And the one thing, Alex Hormozy talks about this, and I agree, simple scales, fancy fails. And I think it's so true. And like for us, we're trying to get so caught up in everything. And interesting, I talk about this as well in the Seller Academy, is like when you make kind of like decisions, you should always be thinking about where you're going long term. Like, what's my long-term goal? And if your long-term goal is to have a warehouse and to be close to your family, fantastic, do it. Like, that's going to work. But if your long-term decision is like, look, when my business becomes big, it might be like, hey, I want to build a big business so I can sell it and then travel the world. I'm like, hey, why not just build the business so you can travel the world today? You don't have to worry about selling it. Like, building a business to sell is a lot harder than building a business that can help you travel the world. You could do the travel the world today. That's a really important point. So I think, if you're doing like 15K a month FBA, well done. In your first month, absolutely fantastic. And obviously you know what you're doing. But if traveling is something you want to do, then you might say, hey, look, I'm going to move off FBA and FBM. I'm going to move to FBA. And I think that's a really important point. But again, always think about the long term. Don't think about the short term. Think about the long term. Guys, if anyone else is interested in traveling, like running a business remotely, let me know down below if you've got questions about it. Obviously, I've done it for quite a while, and I've helped a lot of other people do it as well. The thing. Let's kind of go through. So Cynthia says, I think you are a very good person. Thank you very much. And everyone should be grateful for Tom. Oh, that's very nice of you. You don't have to be grateful for me. And him being so generous with his time and energy. And maybe I'm a bit too excited sometimes. Maybe it's all the electrolyte that I'm drinking. Absolutely fine. But Cynthia, I hope that kind of answers your question over on Instagram. She's here, and she's answering this question here. So like I could have definitely done it earlier, but by the way, deactivation is always a pain. It always hits you for 6. You're like, oh, like why am I? It's scary. So Elizabeth Barnes has joined, and also as well, Briggsy Anthony. Briggsy Anthony, hey, if you're on Instagram, drop a hi, drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're getting on. Let's go and jump through a couple more questions that just popped in. I want to say a big thank you guys if you've got questions. SM. By the way, if you guys don't answer questions, what does Tom do? He sits here and goes. Like, it gets really, really awkward. So ask questions, even share successes. Let's do this. If you've got a success, something that you're really proud of, my God, we're coming to the end of 2022. 2023 is coming up. Let me know what successes you've had and let me know what you're planning to do next year. There's a lot more that if you want to know, in my Fast Track FBA business, I'm actually planning to do no more development because I'm an entrepreneur who has shiny object syndrome and wants to do lots and lots of things. So I said, no, next year, we're just doing exactly the same, but we're going to make it better. So like, these two businesses here, we're going to make better and grow. That's a really important point. Nothing else. This year, I was talking about just starting Germany. We're not going to do it. We didn't do it this year, and we're not going to do it next year. We're just focusing. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Hope that kind of makes sense. Let's jump through. Hi, Tom. What's your thoughts around you using software like Helium 10? If you're doing private label, yeah, 100%. Like, absolutely fine. I think I've never really used Helium 10, so I can't really comment. My understanding is it's for things like. It's for private label branded products. And the net result is that what I'd be looking for is if I was doing that or like creating my own listings, absolutely fine, but I don't. So I never use it. So hence I have no need. So I have no problem with it, but I don't think it's needed for arbitrage. It's not very good. So I hope that makes sense. Let's go testing out Scan Unlimited. Now on 6K line price sheet that I've been dreading to shift through. Lol. Yeah, no. I can certainly understand that. Don't worry. I would hate to go through this. When I first started this game, like 5 years ago, we used to work with a distributor in the UK called West Coast, and they're an IT distributor. I asked them for a CSV file of their listings. They're short. They sent me it. There's 500,000 items. They're a computer specialist. I was like, oh my God. They're like one of the biggest, they're like the main distributor for HP in the UK. They gave me like a 500,000 line items. I was like, oh my God, I do not want to do that. So yeah,
just like Scan Unlimited didn't exist back then. I actually built a bit of software that did it, and it was like, oh my god, I want to kill myself. But hey, it's all right. Top tip for you, and by the way, I'm not an expert at this. I think a couple of things. Number one, if they give you it, ask for stock quantities or something similar, like can you remove low stock quantities? I always trim like a couple of percentage points off the buy price because I want to negotiate, and then we'll only ever kind of do that manual review on products which have high sales volume. Why? Because my goal for wholesale was always to buy a big enough volume to negotiate a discount. And if this line is low selling, i.e. low sales rank, I'm not interested because I won't be able to buy big enough volume. And generally what do I define as a big volume? About $1,000 or pounds in cost price. So then I could negotiate with them. So hence why we automatically put it through Scan Unlimited with a bit of cash off. Not guaranteed, but it's worth asking the question. I hope that makes sense. I hope I can share a top tip with you there. Sursef, how many months did it take you to hit your first 50K a month? Oh my God, a long time. Maybe like 2-3 years. I'm not going to lie. Like I'm really not, I think I've been doing this 5 years, and I think we've done maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. So let me put it this way. Last year, yeah, so this December, ooh. Yeah, I think it was December last year I'd done 2 million in sales. And the reason why I know that is because it took me 12 months to get to 1 million. And it took me another 3 months, which is Q4, to get to another million. And I was like, oh my God. And because my ops manager did it for me, he did a really good job. But prior to that, and if you, by the way, go into my YouTube channel and look at the road to 1 million, you'll see it. It's like a video, like it's a big sign of me doing like 1 million in 18 months. I literally talked right then. We were doing 33,000, about 35,000 a month, and I think I probably took 2 to 3 years to get there. Like I was not very driven. Like I'm not saying not driven, but like I was not very focused, should we say, towards the million mark. And you saw that in my revenue. Why? I was living in Thailand. Like you don't, if you're taking 10% net out, that's 5K a month. Like life is easy. You don't need 5K in Thailand. You need like 1K, 2K. So simple. So I was a bit lazy. Hope that makes sense, Surface. By the way, I'm not like a miracle maker. I've just been through, I'm not like an amazing seller. I've just been through a lot of journeys. Hey, Tom, with regards to traveling, how does the personal tax accounting work? Do you have to be in the UK for a specific time per year? Great question. Go on to HMRC. Guys, Cynthia and Rakon in Instagram, I can see it. I will come over to you next. I promise you that. Hey, everyone, with regards to traveling, how does the personal tax accounting work? So personal tax accounting is just like you just do your tax return. But technically, you're still a UK citizen, probably a UK resident, should we say. If you are thinking about leaving the UK in regards to tax residency, there is a couple of things called the statutory residency assessment or statutory residency test. It's on HMRC's website. Generally speaking, they have like 4 requirements, which is like ties to the UK. Do you have an apartment there, like a house? Do you have a job there? How long you've been in the country? And there's one more, like family ties, like children, I think it is. If you want to know, like I actually did the statutory residency test like a few days ago, and we did it back at the end of for the beginning of last year. I met 1 out of the 4 ties, and that was something like I got paid for my company, so I have a job in the UK. That was it. I spent 20 days in the UK last year, and this year I think I spent less than 20 days in the UK. If you think about tax, you just pay it as normal. But if you want to leave, then you need to look at statutory residency. There is another thing you need to be careful about. Like if you spend too much time in like certain countries, you do become what's known as eligible to pay tax there. So generally, if you spend more than 6 months in the country, so like most countries will have it. If you spend more than 183 days, you are now liable to pay tax, and you could potentially be taxed twice, once in the UK and once in the country you've accidentally spent too much in. I know places like Spain and Portugal are quite strict on it, so just be careful. Let's kind of jump through. Cynthia came in. We got Flipping at 30's joined in. Hey, Flipping at 30. Cynthia says, yeah, I'm on Instagram now, guys. Down here on Instagram. Yes, it helps a lot. I will move into FBA, no problem. Literally, no joke. I just need to be accepted into a prep center. I looked at American Warehouse. I called, no answer today. I'm sure they are busy. Yeah, like, my God, like, by the way, it's Christmas. It's the busiest time right now. Like, trying to get a prep center now is going to be challenging. Wait till January, like give it, like let people get over the Christmas period and then calm down. So that's the thing. Do shop around. There's a lot of prep centers out there. Personally, I like tax-free ones because we do a lot of OA. But if you're doing wholesale, like it doesn't matter because you don't worry about sales tax. Cynthia then says the fact that the prep center needs to basically accept you certainly makes it much more challenging. Agreed. As opposed to you boxing things up yourself and send it to FBA. I'm dying to travel like you, Tom. Yeah, agreed. But then again, it's kind of like, Cynthia, the question comes is like, just imagine is you don't get a choice in the customers, or like if the prep center has to accept you. And by the way, because we know it, there are a lot of bad Amazon sellers, and I'm not saying like they're bad as in like bad people. It's like they don't understand. Like maybe they think you send it to a prep center and then the prep center buy it off you. Like I've probably had that question before. I've had questions before where like, hi Tom, you do a VA service? I'm like, yeah, and they're like, can I not just give you the money and you guarantee me a certain percentage back per month? I'm like, no. And like, you have to run the business. And they're like, but come on, that'd be so much easier. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. It'd be a nightmare for me. And they're like, go on, you want to do it. I'm like, no, I don't. So I hope that makes sense. Cynthia says, joining your group as we speak. Cool, fantastic, Cynthia. Like that. And obviously, I do these lives. I won't be live tomorrow because I need to go drive to another part of Mexico. But I will next week. Get it right, Tom. And also as well next year, obviously. But January, I'll be in the Philippines. So I'm going to try and do it, but it's going to be challenging. So Rackon444 says, so basically, you are always changing product for understanding. Agreed, 100. Like, people ask me like, what do you sell? And I really don't know. I have to go onto my phone and find out because I don't buy anything. And even when I review it, I forget it because it doesn't matter. But the one thing I do know about is like, you're talking about like, because we do OA, the products change. The one thing which I will say is a statistic which I'll share is that we classify a replenishable as any ASIN we've repurchased more than once in any 12-month period. So it could be that we bought an ASIN in January and then we buy it again in October. We'd consider that a replenishable. Now for us, every month or every week, we're replenishing about 80% of our purchases are replenishable items, i.e. they are 80% of the purchases are ASINs we've already purchased at one point over the last year. It's a really interesting fact. So we are buying the same products, just if you look at it any 1 year, they'll be all kind of the same products. But at any one point, some will come in stock and some will come out, and they will change the product mix. So if there was like, let's call it 1,000 ASINs that we have in our inventory, at any one time we might only have 300 of them in stock, but they all kind of rotate around. Hope that kind of makes sense. But Rackon444 on Instagram, thank you so much. Let's kind of go through plans for 2023, 10K sales per month consistently and to get aboard at least 2 VAs. Fantastic. Oh, like, by the way, so really good. Well done. And by the way, like, define it. Like, really, I'm going to give you some advice. If you're planning, like, what I want you to think about is, imagine we're sitting down here, you and me, we're having this conversation again. Tom's on his daily live. Hi guys, been another year. How are you getting on? And you're like, Tom, I've done it. I've achieved my 10,000. And you're like, fantastic. So you put a date in the diary. Now, number one, I'm gonna, like, Tony Robbins talks about it, like, this is a dream, and then like once you start scheduling it, it becomes reality. So what I'd say for you is when you think about 10,000, fantastic, break the problem down. Like, where are you today? Where do you need to be? And break it down. You've got 12 steps. It's called months. They're really simple. Make it 10, for example. Make it a bit easier. What do you need to achieve to get there? By the way, if you think of it, 10,000 a month in sales, I think you could do that in a year quite easily. Like, you can get a credit card, churn that, I think, be fine. If you've got 2 VAs, you'll be getting 10,000 a month in sales consistently. You should be getting 20,000 a month in sales just from the 2 VAs. Like, I promise you that should be quite simple. So when you're talking about that journey, like, today, 2023 to 10K, ask yourself, what does that look like? Break it down by every single month. Plan it out now. Get yourself a Google spreadsheet, January, February, March, April. This is what I'm going to do. And then, by the way, like, if you haven't done it, watch my video on time boxing. Elon Musk does time boxing. It's how you use a calendar. Like, it works. I was about to swear then. But put in your calendar like when these things need to happen. And if you talk about getting 2 VAs, put them in your calendar. Like, when are they going to happen? So important. The one thing I will say is also, if you are looking at VA, do look at Fast Track FBA VA Academy. It's a service I created. We've been running in January. We're running 3 years of VA Academy. We've done over 350 VAs for a client. No, 550 VAs. 550 VAs, get it right, Tom. And we have over 300 clients we've done. Some VAs, some clients have come back for 3, 5, 8. We had someone on the call yesterday who said they just paid for 15, which is true. I checked the bank account this morning. They paid for 15 VAs. And I thought, like, that's quite a lot of VAs. And by the way, I asked why. I said, why us? And he was like, look, Tom, I've tried other services. And number one, the people they hire just aren't as good as the people we hire. And then number two, when things go wrong, your team, like Fast Track FBA, are just on it. Like, we support you. If you have any problems, our team will support you and your VA at any point over the first 3 months. And if you're not happy with that VA, or if you're not happy with anything, or maybe you find out a VA is not right for you, you can get all your money back. We offer unlimited replacements or money back guarantee in the first 3 months. And the one thing I say is, like, because we believe in our service, we believe in the aftercare, it works. And by the way, we have customers coming back. I think that's a good definition of like this works. And I'll come back to the point I said earlier on. I don't know any 7 or 8 figure Amazon sellers who are using lead services. They all have VAs. They all have a team. It works. That's a really big point. But hey, Mr. MCJH, thank you very much. Honestly, great for sharing. Let's go through. Abdul King, how come you've not switched from arbitrage to wholesale and scaled as many others do? I don't know about you, but I do like 5 million a year across 2 companies. And I run Fast Track FBA and I have like 80 staff. Like, I could have gone bigger if I just focused on one and do a wholesale. I agree. It's a really great question. So I'd probably say I've grown quite big, but not as big. I've broken a lot of limiting beliefs behind OA. But the one fundamental reason is you will find that you get to a point in your life whereby you are making more money than you need. And once you realize, like, let's just say, for example, tomorrow, let's say, for example, you were being paid by your business $10,000 a month. It's a really nice amount of money. It's not going to be like you can buy a Lamborghini every day, but you're not going to say, like, I'm so poor. You're okay. By the way, 10,000 in the UK is incredible. 10,000 in the US is like, wow, that's nice, but it doesn't mean as much. There's a difference in money. And I'm English, like, we don't get so much money. But once you kind of get to the point whereby you have more money than you need, and by the way, like I was living in Thailand and Vietnam, you need like $1,000 a month. It's nothing. Once you realize you have more money, then you see it quite regularly. People grow a business and then they start to lose motivation because what they realize is that by growing the business anymore has no real, like, I can't spend any more money, like, if that makes sense. And by the way, if you ever know me, like watch my videos, I always wear like black shirts. I'm a simple guy. So the next question comes down to is your why. And my why is, like, I really enjoy meeting people. I enjoy having fun. I enjoy networking, but also as well, I enjoy helping others. Hence why I come live with you guys. And so wholesale is great. It helps, but generally wholesalers are big sellers. Arbitrage is people who can start out, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy people who say you can't do a business, and I really enjoy going them, oh yeah, you can't? So quick question, I'm just going to go on walmart.com and I'm going to show you this product here, and I'm going to go straight to Amazon and show you the same product, and then I'm going to show you that you can make like $10 of that, and they're going to be like, huh? And then be like, if you do that 10 times, that's $100. And they're like, oh, and you're like, just try it. And they're like, okay. And they're like, wow, it changed my life. And I love that. That I find incredible. That's my why. I think it's really brilliant. So Abdul, really great question. But like after a while, it doesn't come about you. It comes about what you do for others. And that's about being happiness, enjoyment. So I hope it makes sense. Let's go and jump through. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to jump over to Instagram because I appreciate lots of people are doing it as well. So let's go through. Hey, Tom, just had a support call with your support team for USS last night. Your team is the best. He was very patient and helpful. Fantastic. You must have spoken to Patrick. Yeah, Patrick's really cool. He's very technical. The one thing which I'll say is, like, hopefully you understand, like, I'm not in that call. I'm not running it. It's my team doing it. They develop the product. They support our customers. And it's, number one, it's really nice for the feedback. So thank you so much. But I think also number two is the fact that just by speaking to my staff, without me, you're just starting to see like what the culture we've built like, and it's really great. So I'm really great to see it. So hey, I'm really pleased, and thank you so much. Let me kind of jump through. Wow, there's lots of questions. I'm just gonna jump over to Instagram because you've done it. My God, you guys are like on fire. Cynthia, since you helped me so much, Tom, I live in Duwakaman, Philippines for 2 years. Great city, cheap, good quality food. Don't miss it. Yeah, I'm in the Philippines next month. In 2 weeks' time, I'm in the Philippines. Manila, Davao. I think I'm going to Iglan, I think, just north of Davao. And then I want to go to Boracay. Not Boracay. I forgot what it's called. Palawan. Never been there. Never been Palawan. The other ones I have. And then I might go Boracay and then back off to Manila and back home again to Mexico City. So yeah, it'd be really nice to meet the team. I'm really excited. I've not seen them in 2 years. Briggs Anthony said, do you choose and delete listings? Well, my computer's going up. Do you choose and delete listings? Let's get it right. When they're sold out and relist and replenish later to you? Yeah, 100%. Always, by the way, I'll tell you this top tip, guys. Delete old listings. If you've run out of stock, delete them. By the way, if the listing comes back in again, like a customer returns it, it'll go stranded inventory, you can relist it, no problem. But we've seen it time and time again. If they give IP complaints, they look at your account, anyone with a listing, even if it's closed, it's still in your account, they will still give you an IP complaint on it. The only way you can stop this, if you have zero stock, by the way, if you add an ASIN right now, and you have never sold anything, never shipped anything in, but they decide to issue everyone on that listing with an IP complaint, even if you have no stock and never sold it, you will still get an IP complaint, which is like, oh my God, thanks, Amazon. So, and why? Because they're looking at who has listings, regardless of whether they're active or inactive. If you've got a listing, they will give you an IP complaint on it. So for that one very reason, we delete it. Number two, it helps with your API score. So yeah, and then we relist when they come back in again. So Briggsy, yeah, hope that makes sense. Cynthia, rumor I saw on the forums, be careful selling RA from Walmart. I deleted all my listings. Amazon hates Walmart, Costco, RA going into Costco now risky, not going to do it anymore and risky. Yeah, I think the forums are talking rubbish. We buy a lot from Walmart, never had a problem. We might get IP complaints, but we've got rid of all of them. So I understand the concern, but I think of some people who don't really know what they're doing. So yeah, Memo yelled it's on Instagram. Hey, FBA gangster. What's up, my dogs? I'm so not English. I'm English. I don't really do that. What's up? Rough, where the dogs at? Hey, love it. And FBA Side Hustle has joined on Instagram. So I've got questions down below. I've got 10 minutes. I will get my questions done. Let's go through on these ones. Instagram, do you not get asked many invoices at OA because you've been doing it for so long and saw new service? No, we get asked all the time. I reckon but I have 7 admin VAs for 3 companies. Like, we just get them. Like, we get them. We're really good at getting them. My team are really, really good. So yeah, we do get asked all the invoices. We get IP complaints. We get product authenticity complaints all the time. We just get the invoices from Walmart. We chase them up and we provide them. That's it. We're no different. Amazon don't treat us any differently to you, honestly. Ricardo said, thanks, Tom. No, thanks to you, honestly. Keep up. Put that, glad to do it. And by the way, I do understand your point about, tax. If you're going to travel the world, if you want to leave the UK as a tax resident, absolutely fine. Gavin Sweeney's talking a lot about it right now on Twitter as well. Terry Clapson, hi, Tom. What's your preferred category and why? The one that makes money. I don't have a preferred category. If you want to know, in my UK business, based in both companies, what we did is we like when you were in school, you used to have sports teams, and you had captains, and then they picked the team. What we did is we got our purchasing managers, called them captains, and then we picked teams. We picked the teams, and then we just said, right, okay, cool, now you got your team, and then we got all the categories out, and then we got them to pick categories, and now they only source certain categories, so that's it. So that's the way we do it to try and stop overlap. But I know people like shoes in the US, it works really well and a lot more profitable, but you've got to be really careful because you can lose money quite quick as well. So I hope that makes sense. Let's go through. Ellie Stern, hi Tom, where can we find your cash flow management sheet? I'm going to be a bit fasttrackfba.com / fasttrackfba.com. Just go to resources and blogs, and I think you'll see one of the buttons at the top in the blogs post is cash flow. See the blog, and you can just scroll down, and it'll be there. You can buy it on the sheet. It costs £30, but it's the exact sheet we use now. Really, really good. So yeah, check that out. I really like that. Let's go and jump through. Mr. CJH, do you think it's worth saving OA purchases? I keep the ASIN and the product name in my Excel sheet for P&L per item, but I do not keep the link to the website source. Yeah, damn right. Keep it all. Like, keep all the information. By the way, Mr. MCJ, I'm going to tell you a little hack. Go to our website, fasttrackfba.com. Go to services, and it's called the USS Ultimate Sourcing Sheet. Look at that. We have a buy sheet in there, and the reason the buy sheet is really good is the fact that we save a lot of information. It's really, really good. We have an API connection to Amazon, but we save so much information. And why? Because that information is valuable. Amazon, by the way, collect all the data from you they can because they know it's worth money. The values in the data. Use it. Don't be stupid. Do it. So I hope that makes sense. Collect all the information you can, and we do it automatically in our buy sheet. So if you're interested in USS, you can look at it as well. And Pat is really, really useful, really good. We develop it all the time, so we're doing a lot of development on it. So I'm going to go through AJ. Hi Tom, can you explain how the token system to your OA service works? Yeah. So long story short, we probably have the weirdest online arbitrage service in the world. One second. So let me give you a scenario. If you're an online arbitrage seller right now and you're looking for leads and you're struggling, maybe you're starting out, what do? You go look at a lead service provider. How does a lead service provider work? What it does, it gives you a Google spreadsheet or the equivalent of with 10 deals a day on, absolutely fine. That's what you get. So you get told these are the deals you're getting today. Now, unless like some of the deals are out of stock, you are getting those deals. That's it. Like you got those deals. Now, I didn't like this. I didn't like it for two reasons. Number one, you have to take what's given to you, not the fact that you get to choose. Number two is the fact that you have no idea how many people are actually getting these deals. The best deal in the world shared with 1 million people with a really bad deal. Doesn't matter. So what did I do? We created a service whereby what we do is we get all the deals from our own business, and every day they're put into an application. And then what you can do is we hide the ASIN and we hide the product name, and we show you everything else: buy price, to sell price, the keeper chart. You can put in your fees, and it will work out your prep fees and calculate all your profit and loss now and over 90 days. It will even take into sales tax or VAT rates, for example, in the application. And you can literally just scroll through. You can scroll through, see all the deals that you like, and when you are ready, not every day, but maybe when you want. If you don't want deals today, you don't have to buy them. You can come in and you can exchange tokens for a deal. Now, if there's any problems with the deal, you can literally click refund and you'll get a refund back. It's very, very quick. But long story short is it puts you back in control. You're accessing my deals and you're buying as many deals as you want or you don't. Now, the other one is the fact that when you click, you can see how many people we've already sold it to. In the UK, we sell them to 5 other people, 5 people in total. In the USA, we sell them to 10. And when you click buy, you'll see that now goes from like 0 out of 5 to 1 out of 5. It will start incrementing down and you can see how many people we sold it for. And it's like really trying to create visibility around that. And by the way, these are the same deals that I have in my own business. And the reason is like we want to make sure that they're not being shared with everyone, because my God, if I do that, my business goes down. So I have a vested interest in making sure that we limit the supply. It's really about helping people and supporting it. And if you want to know, the token value is based on profitability per the product. So if it's £1 product or £1, $1 profit, it'll be 1 token. If it's $2 profit or £2 profit, it'll be 2 tokens. If it's $3 profit, 3 tokens, it'll be 3 tokens. And that's where it stops. We don't go any higher. So if it's $4 profit, it would always be three tokens. If it's $10 profit, it'll be 3 tokens. That's it. It's like a token-based system. It works really well. It's different, I won't lie, but we really just wanted to try and do a different service. And the people who use it works really well. Also, as well, if you're a new seller right now, it automatically detects whether you're gated or not on the product, so you don't get deals that you can't sell. And that's the whole point. We want you to buy deals from us that you can actually buy, and it's going to help your business. Because at a fundamental level, if the service we offer you doesn't help your business, you shouldn't be paying for it. That's what I think. So we're developing it. Got lots of add-ons coming on over the next couple of weeks. Watch the space. Great question. Let's go through Mr. MTJ. Just for a bit of inspiration, because my Amex Gold card is in the way, I will take it easy first. What's your average Amex bill? I bet it's insane. Depends what you classify as insane. I think for the last couple of months, just the platinum's probably done $250,000. That's probably like the most common one. The gold, we have platinum and gold, has probably done like 80,000, 100,000, not too much huge. The one thing which I will say is quite nice is I normally have about 1 million points across all my credit cards at any one point. So like 1 million like air miles. I've just spent $500,000 going to the Philippines, and I'm like, yeah, I think I've probably still got 1 million left, and we'll probably make it. We probably make 1/4 to 500,000 points a month. So that's a really nice point. But again, it's like it's just part of business. So don't worry. But hey, you'll be fine. Top tip for you if you've got a credit card. We do this with the cash flow management sheet. We will spend as much money on the credit card as we can every week up to our cash flow limit, and then we'll pay it off the next week, and then we'll spend again. What we're not doing is maxing out credit cards, leaving them max out. What we're doing is we're spending as much as possible, maybe maxing it out 1 week, and then paying it straight back down again the next week. Why? If it's got like a £10,000 limit or dollar, what I want to do is run, £10,000 1 week, then pay it off 1,000 another week, pay it off 1,000 another week, and do it again. Do it like 4 times. That's 40,000 you've run through it. What do you see? You see that the credit card companies see that you're using up you're running money through it, and they put your credit limits up higher. That's what we've seen time and time again. That's what we do. I'm not saying you have to spend so much, but it does work. That's like in the UK, hence why we get so much. It's going to go through crypto. Is it okay to leave a dog in a hot car? I don't believe so. Also, it depends what hot is. I'd say generally no. I'm not going to go down that route. I think it's quite bad. So cream pie, Lars, I would say no in a hot car. Does your team buy products in the same leads that you provide? Yes, we do. By the way, I think dog's barking. I think the one thing you got to really understand is the fact that the leads you're seeing on the lead service are from my team. We used to have 2 teams. They were finding the same deals. was stupid. So we just merged them together and tell them to go find more deals, not the same deals. So now we do that. So all the deals you see in my lead service are from my own business. I'm not saying we buy them. They're the deals that my sources find, and potentially they're the deals that we see beforehand. Let's kind of jump through. I will get through these really quick. How do you avoid getting suspended having two Amazon accounts at the same time? By the way, you're only allowed one account per. You're only allowed one account per marketplace. That's the important thing. So, or region. The US and the EU, Europe are they're different regions. You're allowed two accounts. Hope that makes sense. Let's jump over to Instagram. FBA Gangster says, ha ha ha. I know. I'm laughing at myself. I'm so not gangster. Like, I'm so not gangster. I'm like so English. I can only apologize. Cynthia Farmer said, Walmart branded, and your Phil's itinerary sound amazing. I truly hope you enjoy it. Tom, I hope you deserve it. Oh, Phil itinerary. Yeah, so I don't think we buy Walmart branded products, but also we do buy products from Walmart, should we say. My team are pretty good. Like we play it safe with our purchase. We don't spend too much. And then the Philippines trip, yeah, I'm excited as well. It's going to be really good. FBA Gangster says, you are a refined chap. I blame my parents for that one. They've done a good job, so thank you. Cynthia says, yes, just be aware. It feels like Amazon constantly changing policies so they can take someone out quickly if they want to. They're not that bad. Honestly, Amazon have got so much better now than they used to be. I promise you that. They're much better now. Amazon's so much of a safer place, so hope that. Let's kind of jump through where we got. T-Claps in Palawan is one of the best places on earth. If you get the chance, visit Port Burton. It's on the way to El Nido. It's beautiful and unscathed. You'll love it. I will do. Thank you, Terry. I will check that out. I'm looking forward to it. I've got 2 weeks off. Well, I've got 3 weeks in the Philippines, effectively. A couple of days to get there, a couple of days to get back. I've got 1 week of strategic ops planning and then 2 weeks of traveling and meetings. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much. Ellie Stern said, I've been getting offers for Amazon funding from Amazon and Marcus by Goldman. How do you feel about these? You're doing the US, so we haven't had any offers, and I don't think we will. I don't know why. But again, for you, do the math. Do the maths. Personally, like the one thing which I'd just say is, yeah, just do the things. I would probably post in a couple of groups, have a look around, do some research. I don't know the answers in the USA place. In the UK, they're pretty good. You got to ask people like what their horror stories are. Like, well done for asking, but I'm really not in a good place to answer it. It's like financing, in general, I can talk about, and I have no problem with it as long as it works out financially. Fantastic. But then, in particular, around those two options, I don't know which one's going to be best and what the pros and cons are of each one. So I think probably ask the questions. So I hope that makes sense. Tibor, how much prep costs in the USA? I think it's about $1 we pay, maybe $1.20. I think my team put $1.50 in, including USPS, I think it is. So $1.50 in total. Yeah, I think that's what we pay, but it's about $1 for the prep. Hope that makes sense. Checkmate Flips. Hey, great to see you. I'm looking forward to having our conversation. I need to reply to your Instagram. I will do that. I promise you that. Smash the like button. Hey, guys, if you're enjoying the live, I am over time. I do need to finish, but hit the like button if you like it. So thank you so much, obviously, for joining. We've got a lot of people on right now. Way, it's really, really good. Let's kind of go through. Terry Clapson, if you're in the UK and wanted to fly to the Philippines using BA, money, and Avios points, how would you do it to get the best deals? I've been saving out. Okay, by the way, I'm in Mexico and I'm using Avios to get to the Philippines. So I'll tell you how I've done it very, very quickly. BA, just go to sign into the BA website, and then you have to go into like book with Avios, not book normal, but book with Avios. Then you can look. It's not a very great booking system. You have to keep checking it. It's really annoying. If you want to know, when I come back from Manila, I'm flying Qatar back to Doha, and then I'm going Doha over to Madrid, and then which is again Qatar, I think it is, and then I'm doing Emirates from Madrid over to Mexico City. So I am using BA points. You can do it, and then I'm using I think BA to do Etihad? No, it's another. I'm using Amex for that. So yeah, lots and lots of options. But you can do it. It's BA website, and you do book with Avios. You can also as well do Qatar now with Avios and Iberia with Avios. So check. Generally, you should all be able to do it through the BA website, but I would just check them as well. Sometimes it can let you go through. Ollie says, "Can I have more information on a VA?" He's doing it over here. Ollie, fasttrackfba.com/VA. You can book a call with my team, but if you want to know, I'll give you the very, very quick 30-second rundown. The common question is why? What should I know before I get a VA? Where should I be at? Number one, you're profitable. Number two, you know what you're doing and you feel confident in your ability to help someone else. Your team is only as good as you at the end of the day. Number three, you have generally about £4,000 to £5,000 or dollars spare every week that you can't spend, i.e. you don't have enough time, you don't have enough deals, for example. And by spend, I mean it could just be in a credit card available cash. That's what you're looking for. And then the final one you're looking for is 1 hour a day that you can just spend with your VA to support them. Now, that's the kind of requirement. Now, if you're looking at getting a VA, how much do they cost per month? For 40 hours a week for a VA, it's about $500 or £400 per month. And you're going to find, what we do is we find, hire, and train a VA for you. We train them up with, they do a 1 day with a course, they do 6 days over the shoulder one-to-one training with my team. We've done a lot of them, 550 to 300 clients. And then they have to take an assessment. And only if we're happy with the assessment and the training and my whole team are happy, do we then hand them over to you. Then with you, we're watching them for the next 12 weeks. We're going to make sure they know what they're doing and they're delivering results. And what results mean? Deals that you can buy. Not gated deals, not deals that are out of stock, deals that you're actually buying. That's what we define as results. And then Ollie, if you have any problems, maybe the VA quits, you can get a free replacement within the first 12 weeks. If they quit again, you can get another free replacement. If you're not happy with the VA and you want to change them, you can get a free replacement. And if after all of that, in the first 12 weeks, if you're still not happy, say, Tom, VA is not for me, you can ask us, Tom, VA is not for me, can I have my money back? We'll give you your money back, don't worry about it. But this is why I say go with us. Total cost for us for the whole of that service, by the way, and you get weekly support calls with my HR manager, you get my SOPs with the MBA workbook, and you get your own copy of the sourcing mastery course. All of that is a one-time fee of $997 or £847, $997, £847, fasttrackfba.com/VA. By the way, I will say it now. There will be an offer in January, but we have always done this. If anyone has purchased a VA in December, we will give you that offer in January retrospectively. So do not worry if you are worried, like, hey, should I buy now? Should I wait for the pencil off in January? Buy it now. You will get the offer. We already know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, but you'll be happy. But if you want to buy it today, just get it today. My team will get started. Someone came on the live yesterday and said they bought 15 VAs. They did. I checked the bank balance. I checked the things. They paid. 15 VAs they hired. By the way, they bought 10 VAs before, so it works. Hope that makes sense. Ollie, great thing. And Rakon says, enjoy your holiday. Thank you. Oh God, I've got to go quick. I'm so far over time. What's your minimum sales per month for an item considered for a buy? Don't do minimum sales per month. Do profit per month. I.e., if I were to give you a product right now which was selling 1 unit a month, you'd be like, Tom, that's not enough. Once if I told you that 1 unit made you $100 profit, you'd be like, okay, I'll buy it. I don't care. So what we understand is that the minimum sales per month isn't a part of the equation, but it's a profit. Once if I tell you the minimum sales per month are 30 per month, Tom, that sounds great, but it's only going to make you 10 cents per item. That's $3 in total per month. It's not worth my time. So again, sales per month is a good metric, but take sales per month and by the way, it's sales per month that you can make, not just general the listing, and then multiply that by the profitability of the product. For me, we say $15. If I'm going to make less than $15 per product per month, I'm not interested. I'll walk away. It's just not worth my time. You want to do higher value. 80-20 rule, work on things that are going to work. What's the average ROI in the UK? We probably generally buy around 45%, and we probably sell around 30 to 35%. So we do see a drop in that. UK is about 25% purchase, sell at 20%. That's what we generally see. Hope that makes sense. Adam, aiming for the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Aiming for the stars. I love it. Really, really good. What's the buy link? www.fasttrackfba.com/VA, or you can just go to fasttrackfba.com. You'll see by the way, you'll see a link in the description. If you're on Facebook, it will be in the description. YouTube, it will be in the description of this. If you're in Fast Track FBA Instagram, look at my bio. It will just take you to the website, and you're looking for our VA Academy, our VA Virtual Assistant Service, hire a VA. That's going to be there. That really supports you. So you can book a free call. If you get to anywhere on the website, you can talk to the chat window. They'll book you a call. You can have a call with my team, one-to-one call, and ask any questions. We're here to help. We've done over 300 clients over the last 3 years with 550 VAs. People have come back for 3, 5, 8, 15. It works. It works. I have like an army of them. That's how I can do this and talk to you guys so much. Let's kind of go through checkmates. That's a massive deal. Cool. Honestly, yeah, agreed. Like it really, really works. Thank you, checkmates. And Kevin K, very good. Instagram, S-Motion5 joined, hey, and FBA Gang said, Sherry, oh, mate, love it. Guys, I'm going to have to leave you there. Tomorrow, I will not be live. I'm so sorry. I will not be live tomorrow because I have to drive to go see my girlfriend's family. It's going to be driving. But I really just want to say thank you so much to all of you. It's been a real pleasure, honestly. And I look forward to catching up with you the following week. I'll be back live on Monday, and then we'll go from there. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas, and I'll catch up with you next week and keep smashing the Amazon business. December isn't over yet. There's still an opportunity to make money, and keep buying. Amazon doesn't close in January. I can't believe the amount of people who think it does. Stay safe, people. Bye-bye.